guys, welcome back to DJS Detailing. Today we're going to be doing a video with the AM Details products, like I said about in the previous video. So this is the stuff that I got from Waxstock. So we're going to be doing a full wash today using only the AM Details product line, bar the snow foam. As I mentioned, I forgot to pick that up. So we're going to be using all the products to go over the Peugeot 308 that I've got, the GT line. We'll get some before shots just to show you what kind of state the car's in now, and then we can see how well these products hold up and if they're any good. I'm guessing they will be. Everybody said positive things before. So we'll get into the video and we'll start the wash process. Okay, and so far we've got the rinse bucket and the wash bucket both topped up with bubbles. Only got a few small squirts in there. As you can see, they foamed up quite nicely already. We use the jet wash just to create a little bit more froth. And here we've got the EZ snow foam, a small amount in the bottle just to make sure that we're not using too much. But it says it's got a good dilution ratio, so we'll see how that goes in terms of the thickness of the foam. So all we've got to do now is fill up the rinse bucket, either get the jet wash and the hose pipe out, and then we'll begin the wash process and we'll see how these products hold up. Okay then, so just taking a quick look at the car before we start. I think it's since Waxstock that I've not actually washed it. It looks quite glossy on the surface, but getting down and actually looking at it, wheels are absolutely caked in brake dust. I've had quite a lot of rain around where I live recently in the East Midlands, so a lot of dried on walk spots, usual fly spots. Look on the wing mirrors, ones are filthy. Just getting inside, you can see we've covered 819 miles so far this month, but it's a damn sight more than that since it was last cleaned. Obviously inside it's definitely due an interior detail as well, but today we're just looking at the exterior. Moving around, glass again, filthy. So now we've got an idea of what it's like before. We'll see how the products do and see the out. Okay, so the first thing to do, as with any wash that I do, just give the car a quick rinse down. I know a lot of people say that you should always snow foam first, just that way the foam clings to the car a little bit more. But to me, using the pressure wash just to start with, it gets off any of the loose dirt, and then it allows the snow foam to penetrate that a little bit further. Overall, I wasn't overly impressed with the snow foam, but like I said, this wasn't from AM Details, it was the EZ Car Care. I went with the dilution ratio on the bottle, and it did seem to come out quite thin, and it didn't dwell for too long. So for me, I'm probably going to end up ordering the AM Details snow foam just to find out what that's like. But for me, like I said, it was a little bit thin, it didn't dwell for too long. The results were good, it pulled off a good amount of dirt, but I like my foam to stay on the car a little bit more. I know that the sun was out as well, so that probably didn't help, but with the Carbon Collective snow foam that I've used before with Ultimus, and I've also used Auto Finesse Avalanche, they were a lot better, as well as Auto Bright Magifoam, I believe it's called. So there's 4 different snow foams that I've used. This, it doesn't compare to the others really, so the only thing that I'm going to be able to do now is up the dilution ratio, and hopefully it should be okay, and then it might be a little bit thicker. So obviously the first thing that you do once you've rinsed your car down is start with the wheels, the dirtiest part. So I was using the AM Details wheel cleaner, great bit of kit. It cleared the dirt really well. It lubricated the wheels really well, allowed me to get in between each spoke. As you can see, there's a lot of foam coming off, and the other foam that was in the bucket, as I said previously, was AM Bubbles. So all the products used in this area of the wash were AM Details, so this shows you how good those products actually are. And obviously the AM Bubbles is just a bodywork shampoo rather than it being a wheel soap, so this shows just how strong and how well it can work when it's partnered with the AM Details wheel cleaner as well. So just working around, obviously top to bottom on the wheel, start with the larger areas first and then just working into the more intricate areas. It smelt great. Obviously the appearance with the new branding and the colour of the bottles and the different chemical colours, it all looks great. So for me, this is definitely going to be a go-to wheel cleaner now. You don't need a huge amount. It goes quite far in terms of you're not having to spray a lot, and it does quite a lot of the work for you. So all I've done is lightly agitated the wheels once it's been sprayed on. So as I've said, this is a great wheel cleaner. Obviously you want to use this before you use the fallout remover. I didn't use that today because I was just doing a bit of a maintenance wash. When it comes to a more of a thorough decon, when it comes to using the Carbon Collective Platinum wheels, I'll then go in with the decon on the wheels. But for now, that was spot on for what I needed it for. Also, as you can see, I've agitated the wheels as well as the tyres. So normally you do have a rubber cleaner, but obviously AM Details don't have one. The wheel cleaner worked absolutely spot on. Again, it did its job, pulled off a lot of the dirt. You could see it as the foam turned colour. So that's another win-win for me. So the next thing that we've got is the application of the snow foam. Tried to be a little bit creative with this angle. Don't know how it worked, but it seemed to go alright. As you can see straight away, the snow foam seems to run off the car, so it shows how watery it is. It was shook up first, so it's not as if it was just all the product at the bottom or all the water at the bottom and vice versa. It was well mixed. I went with the dilution ratio on the bottle, but it didn't seem to come out as thick as I would have liked it. So like I said, next time, maybe going to have to up the amount of product that's gone into the bottle just to make it that little bit thicker and to allow it to dwell for a little bit longer. But who doesn't love snow foam? It looks great. Okay, so as always, the next thing to do once you've used your snow foam, just give it a thorough rinse off, especially with the heat like it was on the day that I cleaned the car. You want to make sure that it's not staying on too long. You don't want it to bake on, otherwise you're going to be left with a few etching marks. So the sooner you can get it off, as soon as it's dwelled for its amount of time, the better. So again, working top to bottom, making sure you're getting into all the crevices, making sure all the snow foams come out, all the loose dirt has come off. Obviously the point of the snow foam is to get rid of as much of the dirt as possible before you go to make contact with the car. So like I said, it did have good cleaning powers. I was impressed with it. But personally I like it to stay on for a little bit longer, so maybe if it had clung to the car for a little bit more, it might have pulled off more dirt, I don't know, but it worked well for how long it was on the car for. Moving on from that, we're starting with the AM bubbles. As you can see, loads and loads of foam transported from the bucket to the car. The shampoo was really, really thick. It was slick. It was really, really nice to work with. It made the car very lubricated, so again, minimising the chances of scratching it. All the dirt should have come off from the snow foam, but it's never going to be 100% clean. But the shampoo, again, it smelt great. It created a lot of suds in the bucket. Like I said, it's transferred to the car, and it cleaned, again, really, really well. There wasn't any areas that I looked over and thought, oh no, I've missed. Obviously, that's due to me making sure that I've covered each area, but there wasn't an area that I'd gone over that I looked and thought, that's mucky, I need to do it again. Which again shows the cleaning powers of the AM bubbles, but it wasn't too strong. I did have some spray sealant on the car already, and it wasn't an alkaline shampoo, so it didn't pull off that protection already, which is great. That's obviously what you want from a shampoo. You want it to work with the products that you've already got on your car in terms of protection. You don't want it to be stripping it. So this shampoo, great product again. Obviously, once you've washed the car, you want to rinse it down and dry it. Before I dry the car, I like to take it around the block, as you've seen in a few of my previous videos. Just take it on a little drive around the block, dry the brake discs off. Like I've said in some of the videos that I've watched with White Details, they say to do this. The brake dust obviously builds up from the oxidation on the alloys from the water. By doing this, it gets it off quickly. It doesn't allow it to become too thick. So then as soon as you drive off, once you've cleaned your car, you're going to end up with brake dust everywhere. Whereas if you do it as soon as possible, it minimises the chance of getting orange just caked all over your wheels again. So it's rinsed, it's driven around the block, it's then dried. I've pulled it onto my drive out the way now, obviously so it's out of the sun, just making sure that there's no chance of water spots, there's no chance of the water drying and causing the water spots. To help me dry it, I'm using the AM Details Quick Detailer, another great product. It smelled amazing. My girlfriend came round, she said the same, she could smell me using it. She actually thought it was aftershave, which shows how good it is. I did really like it. Again, it was slick. The shine that it gave to the car afterwards, you'll see it in some of the after shots. It was a great product. No chance of smearing. As you can see, I'm using two cloths, one just to wipe it over, the other one just to buff off and make sure that there was no residue left behind. But it was really slick. Like I said, it left a great shine. Since this video, the car's been driven for around 500 miles, and it seems to have left some form of protection, as quick detailers do. The beading when it's rained is amazing. So obviously this is working with the protection that I've already got on the car, but this is the top layer, so this is what's allowing the water to react and behave in the way that it does. So this is all the quick detailer. I'll try and get some shots in if I can of the beading just to show you the protection, but again, from a quick detailer, it's been on the car 2.5 weeks now, and for it to stay on for as long as it has and to show those levels of protection, it shows what a great product it is. I can't recommend it highly enough. Like I said, I've got the 500ml starter kit, and it'll go for ages. You don't need a lot of product. You can spray it, as I've done. I've sprayed it onto the car rather than spraying it into the towel. For me, that it allows the product to go a little bit further. You can spray it and you can mist it across the panels, and then it's going to allow you to move it across rather than just spraying it directly into the towel, because then it might begin to soak into it. You're not going to allow the product to go as far. Whereas if you're misting it, it's covering the panel, and you can move it as far as you want to move it. So that's my method behind using it in the way that I have done. Some people might disagree. They might say that it wastes the product because it can go away with the wind. But for me, this is how I prefer to use it. This is how it works best for me. Each to their own. Everybody does it how they want to do it. This is my way. So the last product that we used from the AM Details line was the glass cleaner. Just trying to go with some more funky angles here. As you can see, it's a blue liquid which does come out onto the towel. If you are bothered about your towels being dyed slightly by the colour of the product, obviously depending on the colour of your towel, mine are white, so it did dye it a little bit, but it's not an issue. It's a glass cleaner. It can do what it wants as long as it works. I'm really not fussed. As you can see, I was working in the sunlight as the sun came around the side of my house. This glass cleaner did not leave any streaks, and that was with the sun on it straight away. So obviously I worked quite quickly. I sprayed the product onto the towel this time rather than allowing it to go over the rest of the car. I didn't want it to cover everything else as I just cleaned it. So yeah, this was my overview. Great line of products so far. Thumbs up to you, AM Details. Absolutely smashed it. If you want to go and purchase any of the products, I'll leave the link for the website in the description of this video. It's not sponsored. It's nothing like that. As you can see, I picked up the products from Waxstock, as you've seen in my previous video. Told Alan that I was going to put a video up. Told me to tag him in it. Told him I was going to give him my honest review. And this is it. Great line of products. Thumbs up to AM Details. So that'll round off this video for you. Thank you again for tuning in. Subscribe if you haven't already. The channel's starting to grow that little bit. So again, I really do appreciate every comment. If you don't think this video is good, tell me. If you like it, tell me. I want to know. I want to interact with you guys. So thank you again, and we'll see you on the next video.